Hi, my name is Ribeiro and let's start with Teardown. This sandbox game features a fully destructible and interactive environment. You can plan the perfect heist using creative problem solving, brute force and everything in between. Tear down walls with explosives or vehicles to create shortcuts, stack objects, build structures or use floating stuff to your advantage. Run, drive, jump, slingshot, you can do whatever you need to achieve your goal. Avoid robots or steal whatever your client asks for, but make sure not to get caught. Game has not only sandbox mode but also a serious campaign where you start accepting work from more or less shady persons. This is a story of a murky soup of revenge, betrayal and insurance fraud. Yeah, that kind of depth in, as it seems, destructible environment engine is absolutely wild. You soon find yourself stealing cars, demolishing buildings, blowing up safes, avoiding trigger-happy robots and many more. The game has above 90% positive review score and is more than worthy of your attention. Dark Souls 3. The discounts on Dark Souls games are quite rare in general, so if you ever plan to play the game there is no better time than now. So in the third part of Dark Souls you will face 25 different bosses, including 8 optional ones, and if you are not a pro you will die at least a few times during each boss battle, and on some of them it may take you from 20 to as much as 50 times. So it's not only a matter of your patience and iron nerves, but it's time consuming as well. Players are praising the game and saying that it is hard, but not as hard as real life. You know, you can't beat your actual boss in real life and just casually move on. I know that you wish to do that, but don't. In prison you would meet even harder adversaries, so just play Dark Souls instead. It's easy if you actually think about it.
Wait, what?
Oh, shut up. Assassin's Creed Mirage. There are better Assassin's Creed games out there than this one, that's for sure, but if you run out of new things in this universe to play, it's not that bad, especially when on sale. The main complaint here is that the game feels a bit clunky, especially when you parkour from one roof to another, and this kind of discomfort follows you throughout the whole game in one form or another. Anyway, Mirage is a step back to the roots of the franchise. It feels more similar to the old school Assassin's Creed games, so here you will experience the story of Basim, a cunning street thief. You will seek answers and justice as you navigate the streets of the 9th century Baghdad, one of the most important cities in the world back in the days. So you, sooner or later, will become a deadly master assassin and change your fate. The game has around 80% positive reviews, and that is really not a bad score. If not the Ubisoft launcher, I think it would have around 10% higher score and would be a more popular game in general. Planet Zoo. Remember when you were a child and in a zoo you saw some dumb animal and then you said something like,
I want that, I wish I could keep it.
and then your mother just slapped you and said,
It's a lion, it would eat you.
and you were like,
No, I don't think so.
yeah, kids are dumb, but the point of this story is that now you can keep a lion, and giraffe, crocodile and elephant, and not one but as many as you want. And the funny thing is that you are just as unsuitable to keep them now as it was back then when you were a kid. All your animals would get sick and die, or they will die because you'll forget to feed them or give them more cosmos. Well, I mean space. And it's a fun game if you are ready not to cry over imaginary animals and their imaginary deaths. Base game itself is very cheap, but it has like 8 or 9 DLCs, so it will suck your wallet dry. Be careful. Dead Island 2. I played the game when it came out and I can honestly say that it was an awesome experience. One of the common misconceptions was that Dead Island 2 is an open world game, but in reality it is quite linear, and I love that, especially after Dying Light 2 with boring copy-paste assets all around the map. When I played Dead Island 2 I could honestly tell that they did their best in making the environment engaging and original. Well, a few copy-pasted paintings can ruin the immersion sometimes, but the whole picture, pun intended, was great. And I can say for sure that this is not a full-fledged horror game. It is more like arcade hack and slasher with a few horror elements. Alright, and a few creepy jump scares as well. The gameplay is fast-paced and fun. The feeling of the recently started apocalypse is there as well. In short, this game feels just right, and it is nicely polished. By the way, after my playtime I have made an in-depth and really funny review and uploaded it to my channel. And after it got 1000 views, YouTube's algorithm just killed it and never ever recommended it for anyone ever again. That's why I hate doing reviews. But you can click on the card above and watch it. I promise you will have a great time and may even buy the game after it. Rust. The only aim here is to survive. Everything wants you to die. The island's wildlife, other inhabitants, the environment, other survivors, and so on. So do whatever it takes to last another night. The game itself is an MMO in very active development, with a guaranteed content patch every month. From regular balance fixes and improvements to AI and graphic updates, to adding content like new maps, musical instruments, trains, and drones, as well as regular seasons and events. There is always something interesting or dangerous, or both, happening on the island. You'll find procedurally generated worlds with map editor support. You can host your own servers, ride a vast array of vehicles from cars and trains to hot air balloons and helicopters. You can build houses, farm, or do almost anything you want. The game is huge. Not as huge as your mama though. Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Following the events of Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, teenager Miles is adjusting to his new home while following in the footsteps of his mentor Peter Parker as a new Spider-Man. But when a fierce power struggle threatens to destroy his new home, the hero realizes that with great power comes great electricity bills, or something like that. So to save all of New York, you must take up the mantle of Spider-Man and own it like you stole it, or something like that. Anyway, there are some sweet technical characteristics as well. Unlocked frame rate, newest Nvidia graphic technologies, upscaling, ultra-wide monitor support, ray tracing, and DualSense controller support with all the tricks you get on PlayStation. The review score is above 90%, so it's a no-brainer for various joyful Spider-Man fans, or even for old grumpy dudes who just want to chill and enjoy the views.
Cult of the Lamb.
This is a base-building roguelite adventure game where you play as a lamb. But instead of grazing grass all day and looking puffy and cute, you're gonna start your own cult. You will have to collect resources to build new structures, and of course you will have to perform dark rituals. But in this randomly generated world, you are not the only one having a cult, so you naturally will have to destroy other cult leaders in order to gain more influence over your mindless slaves. The art is cool, the music is great, and you will find a variety of activities to do with a simple poop. What's not to love? People on Steam are saying that this game might become repetitive, but it has very positive reviews from over 40,000 players. High on Life. Here you and a team of charismatic talking guns must answer the hero's call. You will become the deadliest intergalactic bounty hunter the cosmos have ever seen. Game may look like it's oriented to a younger audience, but it's actually the opposite. Drugs, sex, cursing and gore is the very foundation of this game. So here you'll travel to a variety of biomes and locations across the cosmos, go up against the nefarious evil boss and his gang of goons, collect loot and meet unique characters. You will navigate dynamic and changing worlds that range from a jungle paradise to a city built inside an asteroid. Complete hunter challenges, meet weird, fun and hilarious characters, collect an array of alien technology, and so on. People on Steam are saying that the game is very fun, but a bit too short for its price. It's only about 8 hours long. Luckily the price now is cut in half, and the game is worth every cent you have. Escape Simulator. This is a first-person puzzler you can play solo or in an online co-op. You'll explore a growing set of highly interactive escape rooms, move furniture, pick up and examine everything, smash pots and break locks. The game also supports community-made rooms using the level editor. As I mentioned before, you can play it alone without any problems, but all the rooms are playable in an online co-op as well. Community rooms have been tested with up to 10 people, but I can realize the chaos it can bring. So 1 or 2 friends is actually more than enough, and probably more than you actually have. I'm kidding, of course.
Or am I?
The game, as people on Steam are saying, is not just an escape room simulator. It's a great escape from reality as well, especially after a long, hard day at work. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version. So the remake is a great game on 2 occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it. In that case, I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well, and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. Chants of Sennaar. The review score on Steam of this game is something out of a fairy tale. 98% of positive reviews is not something you see every day. So this adventure puzzle game has a wonderful story. Divided since the dawn of time, the peoples of the tower no longer speak to each other, just like you and your neighbor who dislikes potato salad. But it is said that one day a traveler will find the wisdom to break down the walls and restore the balance. And it's you, obviously. So probably all these people are already doomed. No offense. He will explore and discover an enchanting world in a colorful poetic setting inspired by the myth of Babel, where men have forgotten their past. You will travel the endless steps of a prodigious labyrinth, uncover ominous secrets and unveil the mysteries of this fascinating universe where ancient languages are both the lock and the key. People are saying that this game has really fun puzzles, beautiful soundtrack and a really interesting, captivating story. Sifu. If you ever wanted to feel like Bruce Lee in his movies, then this game is definitely your spoon of potato salad. The big difference this game offers is that here enemies don't wait for their turn to beat you, so you will have to be quick, nimble and smart to defeat them all. Kung Fu is mastery achieved by practice, a path for the body and the mind. You will learn from your mistakes, unlock unique skills and find the strength to master the devastating techniques of the strongest Kung Fu style ever invented. Well, I have zero knowledge about Kung Fu, to be honest. My ninjutsu martial arts teacher always said that if you can avoid the fight, avoid it. If you can't avoid it, grab an object like a chair and beat your enemies with it. Don't use your hands if you can, they hurt. Well, he also said that if a robber attacks you and you manage to knock him off, take his wallet and then pee on him. Show your dominance. And that is not a joke, my sensei really said that. Yeah, for real, leave honor for the movies. Wartales. It has been 100 years since the world saw the fall of the once great Edoran Empire at the hands of an unprecedented plague that swept the nation. So prepare to lead a group of characters in a huge open world where combat, death and thirst for riches will shape and define your day-to-day life. You are not a special chosen one ushering in a new era of peace. Nah, your goal is solely to survive, well, and thrive in this harsh and hostile land. From the most insignificant petty thieves to the land's most notorious figures, there is no such thing as a profit too small to take. You can recruit from the vast array of new companions with numerous unique skill sets and weapon preferences, resulting in a plethora of possible builds. You will accept contracts that will take you on a task to defend, liberate and save the many inhabitants of the land for money. You are not hero, remember? Also here you will be able to collect bounties, from the most insignificant pathetic thieves to the land's most notorious figures. There is no such thing as a profit too small to take. Very wise words, probably many times spoken by Quark from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Resident Evil Village. The story is set a few years after the events in Resident Evil 7. The all-new storyline begins when a man and his wife start living peacefully in a new location, free from their past nightmares and horrors. And just as they are building their new life together, then, you know, stuff happens. Otherwise, it would be a love story, not a fantasy story with horror elements. Village is one of the coolest games ever, with an atmosphere creepier than your neighbor-in-law.
Wait, what? That exists?
I don't know, I hope not. Also, this game is not a pure horror game as you can imagine. It's really not that scary, it's just creepy. And overwhelmingly positive reviews are here for a reason. This game is fantastic. Also, you can play the free demo version on Steam. Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a Ghost Eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. Dome Keeper. Dome Keeper has about 90% of positive reviews, so it is obviously a hidden gem you may want to try. Well, a nice polished rock at least. This is a roguelike survival miner where you will defend your dome from wave after wave of monsters. You will use the time between each attack to dig beneath the surface and search of valuable resources and artifacts, and use them carefully to choose powerful upgrades and bonuses. People on Steam are talking that the game is very polished, rich and imaginative. It's all you need for your free time. Well, this and potato salad. The Talos Principle 2. The first part of the game is a legendary title among all puzzle lovers, and so it seems the sequel is meant for glory as well. You know, more than 90% of positive review score is an achievement many games never live to see. So here, born into a new world where biological humanity is extinct but human culture lives on a city of robots, you find yourself in a mind-bending adventure involving a mysterious megastructure hiding enormous powers. The more you discover, the more you will be confronted with questions about the nature of the cosmos and the purpose of civilization. You will ask uncomfortable questions like, are you better than humans, or are you moving in the same direction of extinction, and why does potato salad taste so much better with fermented cucumbers instead of pickles? Anyway, the game will break your brain in a good sense and will show you puzzles never seen before. Warhammer 40k Boltgun. Here, without any hesitation, load up your gun and plunge into battle. You'll experience a perfect blend of Warhammer FPS gameplay and the stylish visuals of your favorite 90s retro shooters. You will play a battle-hardened Space Marine on a perilous mission across the galaxy as you fight against the Chaos Space Marines and demons. This boomer shooter style, well known from the games like Classic Doom, Duke Nukem or Heretic, is a real treat for all the dudes like me, and also for a younger generation who wants to experience glory and feel like a true combat god, or goddess, or something in between. Whatever you are, you will rock this. People on Steam are saying that the game doesn't offer a lot of replayability, but the level of entertainment it provides is massive. Although, not as massive as your mama. Aliens Fireteam Elite. Have you ever wanted to be a protagonist in the Alien movie? Well, I doubt that, I really do. And if yes, what is wrong with you? Anyway, here, after so many fear-infused hours in Alien Isolation, you can finally get some revenge on these terrifying creatures. You will kill hundreds of them, so it's nothing like the movies. Although it's really fun to play if you have a friend or two. You can play in single player as well, but I assure you that if you want full experience, you will have to find some friends. I know that may be mission impossible, but you can try anyway. You don't need real friends, all you need is some Discord channel with the same-minded people. So here you'll be exploring some friendly planet filled with friendly fauna and live in harmony all together. Except you don't. This game is a carnage where you will have to battle through hordes of different types of xenomorph, customize your character and gear, and level up as you try to contain this ever-growing threat. I especially like the diversity of enemies in this game. They really took their time to create some nasty monsters. The game itself is basically Left 4 Dead just with aliens. I think it's great, and 81% of Steam reviews are also positive. COCOON. This wonderful game is made by the same designer who developed legendary Limbo and Inside, so that should grab your attention. Also, the fact that the game is a proud owner of more than 90% of positive review score on Steam. This is a unique take on the puzzle-adventure genre where each world exists within an orb that you can carry on your back. Here you'll have to wrap your head around the core mechanic of leaping between worlds and combine, manipulate and rearrange them to solve intricate puzzles. You will interact with alien environments and biomechanical devices left behind by an ancient civilization, journey through unique and diverse biomes, from industrial structures to massive organic caverns. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, that's gross. Anyway, you will have to discover how these worlds and environments are connected to one another. People who played it are praising the game and saying that it will bend you over, at least your mind. And now thank you for watching, have a nice day and I'll see you next time.